Warning, this video is to entertain the viewer, do not take it seriously. Tower Battles is a game created by Planet Earth in 2017. The game is that you have to defend your base from enemies. For that you have troops with which they will help you defend yourself. Each one it has different ways to attack enemies, while the enemies are changing through advances in each wave. That is why in this video I will take the trouble to analyze each of the enemies through power scales. For that I will base myself on how much life they have, how they can ruin the game, and the recommended tips to defeat them. These are the scales of power. At the bottom are the power bars of the enemies, and on the right side are the power ranges, in which there is the weak rank, where the enemies that are not dangerous are. There is the medium rank. Here you already have to have some defense. Strong rank. Here you have to have a good defense. Monster rank. From here you must have troops with high DPS. Here are the ones that can ruin the game. Legend rank. Here already you must have many troops with high DPS. Here you will find enemies with more health. And finally God rank. Here you will find only the most powerful enemies in the game. It will be better to prepare, otherwise you will have a defeat. Let's start with normal. It's the first enemy of the game. Being the first obviously won't be a big problem, but don't get carried away. If you don't put up any defense in the first 4 waves, it could make you lose the game. The next one is the speedy. It is faster than the normal one, only this one has less health, just like the normal one. If you don't put defense in the first 4 waves, it can make you lose the game. The next one is the slowy. This one is slower than the normal one, but it has more health. This can be a great danger if you don't have a good defense. The patrol level 2 or 3 can be a good recommendation to deal with this enemy. He is the first enemy to reach rank medium. In wave 8 we meet the first boss. He has the same speed as the slowy. He has a large amount of health, but like the slowy, a level 2 or 3 patrol can be a good option. I put him close to rank strong, since despite his high health, he's not dangerous enough once you have a good defense. The hidden. These enemies come in wave 10. They have the same speed as the normal ones, they just have a little more health. However, they have something that the previous ones don't have. As its name says, these enemies are invisible and cannot be attacked by some troops. For that you need camo detection. This only has some troops in some levels. The other option can be spawn units, like the patrol, barrack or Z. This enemy can ruin your game if you don't have any camo detection. The next ones are the mystery ones. It is by far the worst enemy of the early waves, or maybe not. You have the same stats as a hidden one, except they are not invisible. When you kill this enemy it spawns another one. These can be any of the previous enemies. And yes, it also includes the boss, which can make you lose if many spawn after killing him in mystery form. The Necromancer is the second boss. He is just as slow as the boss, or I think a little more. He has a little more health than the boss. He is the first enemy with an ability, which is that he can summon. Not a big deal though, as he spawns at wave 14, and by this point you should already have a good defense. That would be all the enemies from the early waves. Now I'm going to show the ones from the middle wave. Boss 2 is the third boss of the game. He is one of the slowest enemies in the game, but the amount of health makes up for it. He is one of the most dangerous. At this point you must have troops with a lot of DPS, but he is no longer a bother once you have a lot of troops with a high amount of DPS. He is the first enemy to reach monster rank. The lava enemies are like boss 1, only they are a little faster and have a little more health. They are totally immune to fire. I put it on the top edge of rank strong, since they come in hordes. The hidden boss is one of the most dangerous. When they first appear, they have half the health of boss 2, and they are quite fast. Like the hidden, they are invisible and troops with camo detection or spawn troops are needed. This is one of the ones that made players lose the most in games. The toxic are like the lava, only a little faster and have less health. They are the second enemy with ability, which is active when they die, causes an explosion that stuns nearby troops in their area. Slimes are one of the most dangerous enemies. They have a moderate speed and have a good amount of health. They are the third enemies with an ability, just like the toxic is activated only when it dies, which makes Forgu come out. This is also one of the enemies that made players lose the most in games. The lightning is the fastest enemy in the game, but they have a very low amount of health. But for that reason they are still dangerous. They can harm you if there is a large horde near the end of your tower, since it can appear from the nothing. Even so, the fire slows them down a bit. And the last enemy of the medium wave, the mystery 2, are like the first, except that they have more life and there are other enemies that spawn, being the ones that are present in this image. Here you depend on luck depending on which enemy spawns once you kill them. That would be all the enemies of the medium wave. Now I will put the last ones that are from the wave late. Now we are with the last enemies. At this point you must already have many troops with a high amount of DPS, otherwise you could end up losing the game. The vast majority of here easily reach the legend rank, so it will be better to be prepared. Boss 3. This enemy is very dangerous. He has a huge amount of life, but not only that, he is also very fast, being the fastest boss in the entire game. This boss is a total beast when he comes in horde. I recommend using the flamethrower to slow it down. Boss 4 is the same as boss 3, only a little slower and has even more health. It can also be a big problem if it comes in a large amount of horde. I recommend using the airstrike ability of the commander to lower the health of several at the same time. Necromancer boss. He is the second summoner of the game. He has even more health than all the previous bosses, and they had a moderate speed. Like the previous one, he can summon some enemies called Fire Spirit that are not a big problem. It is an enemy which it may take too long to kill him. The Guardians. These are the penultimate enemies of the game. They appear in the final wave. They have a large amount of health and a moderate speed. They have an ability in which they use their axes to stun enemies. This can be quite annoying, since the stun can last up to 20 seconds and even some troops get stunned forever. A fun fact, before it was 4 Guardians that appeared, but now they have been reduced to 2. I know that the next enemy is exclusive to the versus mode, but I will include it anyway. Endbringer is an enemy that, as I said, is exclusive to the versus mode. It appears in the final wave with an extreme amount of health and has a moderate speed. This enemy was created so that a team only wins depending on what troops they are using. They come in an infinite horde, so there will be no end until one team loses. And finally, the final boss of the game, Void. He is the last enemy and appears in the final wave accompanied by 2 Guardians who will protect him. He is the enemy with the most health in the entire game, and he is also the slowest of all. He has 3 abilities which are 1 scream. Here Void creates a blast that stuns all units and does massive damage to spawned units. 2. Summon. Void summons 4 enemies which aren't much of a problem due to their low health. And the third and final ability, Stomp. Void will do a ground stomp which stuns all troops in a large area. This stun does not affect the aviator and all cliff troops. The best way to defeat Void is by using a large amount of phaser with which you can kill him quickly and end the game. And that would be the last enemy. I know I missed including the 0000000 wave, but I didn't include it because I consider it a special wave, so it will be for another video. Soon I would be doing the power scales of the troops, in which only those of the store will be. Those of events, jokes or exclusive to admins will not be taken in the video. Well, this video would be complete. I hope you liked it. If you want to make yours, you can do it in the comments, or you can make your own video. In case you ask, I will do all of you. Well, for now I have not thought about it, but maybe I will in the future. Well people, that was all. See you in the next video. Goodbye.